Hi there, I'm Darlene Taylor, and welcome to the Recycled Mom. I want this place to be a place of encouragement. I want it to be a place where you can find safety in sharing things about your life, your past, what you're going through in the present, your hopes, your dreams, without being judged or criticized. God knows there's enough of that out there. I know as a mom, I'm a mother of 3. I've been a mother for 17 years, married for 22. And I know that over time, we tend to lose sight of who we are. We lose sight of our goals. And, we just don't really know our place anymore sometimes, because naturally as women, I think that we give of ourselves so much to other people. And we start doing it, I think, at an early age, maybe even before we're married, but, depending on when you get married and what you do. But I think naturally we as women are nurturers. We are, naturally caring for other people, whether we're moms or not. But I know there are so many moms out there that are overwhelmed. They don't know their identity anymore. It's like when they get married and they become a mom and they have kids and they become grandmoms and all these different stages in life, and we forget who we are, who we once were. We lose everything about ourselves, and we feel like we are ignored, we're invisible. It's like that piece of furniture you might find in your grandmother's attic or basement or garage that's been sitting there for a while, that is this once cherished piece of furniture, whatever. It could be a table, a bed, a chair, and it's been in there and it's mildewy and it's dusty, dingy, maybe it's tarnished, depending on what it is, maybe, and it's sitting there and it was used and beautiful at one point, and now it's just kind of there and it's forgotten about. It's been put away because maybe something new and improved has come out, or just, you're trying to make space or whatever, and you don't really want to get rid of it, but it's there in the corner and collecting dust. And, have you ever found something like that going through your things? And you find this, like, oh my goodness, I forgot I had that. And you take it out and you love on it, and you clean it up, whether it's polish it, or maybe if it's a piece of wood, you refinish it, and stain it, or you give it an update, and you bring it back out, and it's this beautiful piece again, but it's changed a little bit. It has a history, but now that it's been recycled, it's been, renewed, it's been revived, it's, risen up from the ashes or the dust, and it's brought out again. And that's why I have this burden to be here, to talk with other moms, and to create this space for us on the internet, just so that we have, not just being a part of a community of like-minded people who share similar experiences, but a place where we can encourage each other. I know you know this and have experienced some of this, because I have, and I see it, and I've experienced it as well. So I know I'm not alone. There is nothing unique to anybody out there. You're not alone. Your experience is not unique. It's different, I guess I should say, but it's still fairly common because we're all going through it, and you've seen it. It's the assuming of people. It's the I'm not really saying judging. It's assuming. It is you assume someone is a certain way by the way they look or by the way they act, and you could assume on the positive, you could assume on the negative. And what I see and what I've experienced a lot of is people are assuming kind of on the positive side. And maybe it's because of social media today. We have Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and Twitter and all, Snapchat and all of these different social media platforms where everybody posts all the good stuff that's going on with them or their family or in their life, and everything is, I'm living my life and I taking my selfie and, or I've got all this good stuff and I'm posting everything that's Instagram worthy or Pinterest worthy, or, is it worthy of Facebook? Is I change my status on Facebook from, single to engaged or to married, or I had a baby or this, and these are wonderful things to celebrate. They are. And I get it. We don't want to see negative all the time and people airing their dirty laundry, right? But there is this thing I'm seeing in mom communities on social media, especially where we are sharing all of this wonderful stuff that could be in magazines or not or whatever, but anyway, we're sharing all of this wonderful stuff, and we begin to think that Sandy over here has this wonderful life. Her kids are perfect, and her husband is so good to her and he's great, and I don't have a husband like that, or my kids are struggling, and in my home, oh my goodness, if you were to see behind me, the laundry that's sitting here that just never seems to go away, and dishes that are still in the sink maybe from yesterday that haven't gotten done yet, or my kids struggling with like math in school and some things that are most people would consider basic, that my kids, as old as they are still struggling with stuff. And again, it's this judging, it's this assuming, I should say, not necessarily judging so much as the assuming. I cannot tell you how many times that I've had someone, or I'm going to say people, because it's been people over the last 17 years that will come up, and they say things that they assume that I have it all together. They assume that, like, I already know something. They, assume that, my home is picture perfect. They assume that, my husband and I have this wonderful relationship. They assume that my kids are grand, and I don't necessarily post all this grand stuff on my Facebook page or even Instagram. I tend to keep family things kind of private. I'm privacy things with my kids, and not wanting to spread everything out in the public. And if I do, it's a close circle that I keep. People assume that I am further along in my spiritual walk, in my Christian life, than I really am. Like I'm, maybe a spiritual person. No. They assume things about you, or, and you may have experienced this. I'm pretty sure you probably have. And if not, you will experience this. And recently, I had wow. My husband and I have made a huge shift in our lives this year, and we left our church of the last 17 years. And this has been something that was at least a year of prayer and discussion and counsel, so it wasn't something that we took lightly. 'Cause a lot of it, we didn't really understand what was going on in our own hearts with the Lord moving in our hearts and leading us to a different place. And we didn't understand that. So we make this shift, and our life changed, because as far as my kids go, this is all they've ever known. All three of my kids were born in this church. They've been going here ever since they were born, and they and pretty much all of these last 17 years have been our Christian growth and our family and relationship wise between my husband and I, individually and together as a couple. It's all been at this church. And the friends that we had were all at this church. They were, it was pretty much like family, because where we live, we are not close to our family. We're 8 hours away for one side of the family and about 3.5 hours or 4 maybe for the other side. So there is no family in this area, and this group of people at this local church that we went to became our family. But I would have to say for the last maybe 5 or 6 years, things were just not right. And trying to not just always point the finger in the other direction, always saying, well, what is it? What am I not seeing? Maybe I'm just being, too sensitive. I don't know, something like that, where I'm just, what is it about me? Maybe it's me and the way I'm perceiving things. But, so anyway, jumping to the fact that we left the church, and since then we left. So let's see, this is October 3rd. We left June 4th was our last day. So June, July, August, September, October. So it's been 4 months. And after 17 years of being involved in this church, heavily involved. I mean, husband's the music director, and we were both involved with music in the choir, singing regularly, playing instruments, and then also me being involved in other ministries that worked with children, like Vacation Bible School, a huge meals ministry and an outreach that we have for that. What else, serving in our nursery, and just helping out everywhere. This is just stuff that we do. But 17 years of being, as our pastor described, kind of a pillar in the church. These last 4 months have been extremely quiet. Only a few people have, reached out, tried to, where I've been able to maybe have lunch with someone, or, where only a few people have reached out to actually contact us. And just, what's going on? We haven't seen you. We didn't make a big stink about leaving, right? So I'm saying all of this because when I did talk to some people here in the last few weeks, they said this phrase, well, I assumed that you had your group of people. Meaning that this woman assumed that I already had this grand circle of friends and people to help me along, or to counsel me, or whatever, leadership at church, because I was part of the leadership in the church. And so she just assumed that I had my group of people and that I had people to talk to. And she was surprised that I didn't. And that is just one example of many where we assume that about another. So I have to ask you, look at yourself. Who have you assumed something about? Who have you you'd look at maybe another mom. Oh, and I've done this. I would look at this mom, I'm thinking of someone right now, and I look at her and I'm like, wow, she's got it all together. Her house is organized, because I've been over there. But her house is organized. She's got, her kids have turned out great. They get good grades. They're so polite. She and her husband seem to be, they seem to have a really good relationship. She's always well put together. She seems like she just, has it all together. I know she doesn't. I've had conversations, try to have like a personal conversation with her over the years. We've had some little heart-to-heart talks, and I know her family's not perfect, but you would never know it when you look at them. You never know that she's going through something when you just look at her on the outside, or if you just see her, once or twice a week, and it's always out in public. You would never know that there are things that she's going through. And I know that that's what people think about me. They think that I have it all together, and I don't. I have suffered depression, and in fact, I just flat out deny it, that I didn't have it. And then when I did kind of realize that I am going through it, it was just, whatever. I just kind of suffer through it. And, and when I did reach out for help, it was like people didn't believe it. Oh no, you're such a strong person. You do so much. You're so involved in the community. How can you be depressed? You're not depressed. Yes, I was. And I am. I'm on the side of it now, but I am. And, because there are days that would go by, even though I still have to get up and do stuff, there are days, I wouldn't feel like doing anything. I didn't take care of myself. Not eating right. I don't get enough sleep, because with that comes, worry, because, things aren't the way they're supposed to be with my body or in my house, or my kids. I feel like they're failing in school. I feel like I'm, not, they don't get, good grades. I mean, they get decent grades, but they're certainly not honor roll students. I feel like I'm ruining their education half the time because we're, doing it here at home. But then I turn around and I find out that they'll do something and they're like, like, wow, you have been paying attention. So, I know there's that, but moms, wives, if you're not a mom yet, wives and moms, women, we have got to stop this mom judging, this mom bashing, the mom assuming, the wife assuming, oh goodness, what is some of the arguments that I hear all the time, the working moms versus the stay-at-home moms, the homeschool moms. Now that's a whole thing. You've got homeschool moms that are arguing and judging each other because, this one is unschooling and this one is schooling. This one has a curriculum. This one's going to an academy. This one's doing this. And it's like, if you're not doing that, then, you're not doing the best thing for your child, and, whatever. There's the breastfeeding mom versus the formula mom. There's the diaper mom, like the store-bought diaper mom, versus the cloth diaper mom, or even the diapers, there's Honest diapers, and then there's, Pampers. And it's like, oh my word, there's all this judging going on. There's, and then there's all kinds of things about parenting. If you've got single unit families to families that have both parents there, and then you've got families that may be, not typical families where you've got two dads or two moms, or oh my word, and then there's they might be special needs families and they're not doing this right, and it is all over the place. I've seen it, I witness it, I listen to it all the time. We have got to stop this. Stop assuming things about me. Stop assuming things about each other. It's not fair. It's not fair that I do it to you, because that's putting, that's putting pressure on you. That's either, that could be putting you up on a pedestal. And that's not fair of me to do that to you. And it's not fair of you to do that to me either. We need to stop doing the assuming and the judging, and we need to connect and we need to get to know each other. You can't make assumptions based on what you think you know about someone, because I'm going to tell you, we all have this, the Facebook life, and then we have our real life, right? You know it. You have one. Okay? We have these two lives. We have everything on Facebook or social media life. Let's just put it that way, because there's Instagram, and a picture's got to be Instagram worthy, and it's got to be thrown through filters, and if it's you, then you've got do all the facial tuning and all this, and Photoshop everything, and then if you're posting something on Pinterest, it's got to be grand, and my life has got to be super organized. And so, this kills me every year when it's homeschool time, everybody's starting up homeschool again, and everybody posts these pictures of, look at my homeschool room for my kids, and they've got this separate room that's dedicated to homeschooling. And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing by any means. Don't go there, okay? But it's where it was affecting me is that I never felt that I was properly homeschooling my kids because I didn't have a separate homeschool room. Not even a dining room. It's just like we were all jammed in the kitchen and stuff. And I didn't have little bookshelves for our books. We had little totes, or we had crates for our books. I didn't have little work areas or super organized cabinets that everything was all color coded and labeled. And I didn't have that. So I was thinking, that I'm running a poor homeschool. I can't homeschool well enough or properly enough because I don't have this homeschool room, this separate room. I didn't even, or even have a separate space, so I kept thinking, I want this separate space. I never saw moms on social media post anything about the real life of a homeschool mom, where you are homeschooling, on the couch or, at the kitchen table, and then you push everything aside, and then you have lunch, and then you clear that off, and you pull everything back out, or the mom that you just can't get all the dishes done, so you've got everything piling up in the sink, or you've got laundry that piles up and it's half, folded, or sometimes it's sitting in the dryer, and, you're half asleep. You don't get a shower on some days, and you're in yesterday's makeup, and you're wearing sweatpants because the only thing you can get on in the morning, because you're lacking in sleep, because you have to stay up the night before, and you have to go over the work that your kids did and do some grades because you got to keep up with transcripts because, oh my goodness, college. And so there's all of that, and yet I see all of these perfect little things, these perfect little rooms. It's hard not to get jealous, and it's hard not to compare, because these women seem like they have it all together, and they really love what they're doing. Like, really, you really love homeschooling, and you have these, it makes it seem like they have these wonderful days, and their kids are well behaved, and they get perfect grades, and they know how to draw the world map from memory, and they can recite, at 10, I don't know, they can recite all this information and regurgitate everything right back to you. And they've read all these super books, and they excel in this. And while these are wonderful things to celebrate, they really are. If you don't have those things, if you're not like that family, then don't take it personally. Don't judge them. Don't compare. Just stop. Stop comparing. Stop assuming. Stop judging. Do you. Do your homeschool. Do your family. Do what you feel convicted to do, what you believe in, and support the other person. So if we need to be supporting each other and encouraging each other for the ways that we're encouraging, or the ways that we're raising our families and living our lives and the decisions that we make. And we need to be supportive, even if we disagree. If we disagree, that's fine, because what works in your family is not going to work for mine. But don't judge me because my house isn't spit spot. And and don't because I homeschool at my kitchen table, don't judge me for that. But at the same time, don't sit there and assume that I have it all together. And, oh, well, she doesn't need me to talk to her. She's got, I'm sure she has wonderful friends and wonderful wonderful group of people to hang around, I'm sure, because she's probably so popular. She has it all together and everybody must love her. Because you don't know what I'm going through. Okay, and what happens is that I'm being left alone, and it's quiet, it's lonely. I feel like I'm kind of just like out here, floundering on my own, and I would love someone to be able to talk to, or to, have a listening ear, someone I could bounce ideas off from, or just share that, what, I don't like what I'm doing today. I don't like being a mom. I don't like my kids. I don't like homeschooling. Why did I ever do this? Okay. And I just need someone to listen and not tell me that I'm not being a good mom because I'm not doing what you think I should be doing. I want this to be a group of moms, or even if you're not a mom, wives, the recycled, woman. I want us to be able to encourage each other, lift each other up from the ashes, and to where we can be revived. We can get in touch with who we are again, not who we think we should be on social media, or what we think others expect us to be on social media. There was a woman, I'd say everybody's a young woman to me these days, but she was we were at the hairdresser together, and she was getting her hair washed, and she was looking forward to this new haircut. And she said, I heard her say, everyone at this place will be so happy when they see me, because she was getting this new haircut. And I realized that she wanted this haircut. She liked it. And it was for her, but she was also at the same time, her identity was so wrapped up in what people thought of her. And I'm afraid that if it got to be all negative, that she would be, she would fall, and she would, bad things would happen in her life, basically because she's not thinking, she's thinking that people, don't like her. And so, that leads to, bad choices and all these things coming back into her life. Where she would think that her life is not good or worthy or anything because nobody likes her, and that's just not the case. But what I'm saying, I think, is because we have done the same thing in our lives. People will think better of me if they see that I'm posting all these things and I've got my act together, or I'll be accepted more if I'm doing this thing or that thing, or wearing this, or looking like this, or going to this church, or if I'm working versus staying at home. I mean, just do your life. Do stop assuming that you know someone else. Get to know them first. In fact, just make it a point of getting to know them and to listening to their heart. Just listen. Don't listen to fix. Don't listen to whatever. Just you flat out just listen and let someone talk. Let them vent. Accept them. Make them feel welcome and safe. And don't pass judgment. Don't be critical. Don't tell them what you think they should do. Help them find their way. Help them find their way, in parenting and at staying at home, and help them find out who they really are. Because we can still be a mom and a wife and a grandma, but still be us. Who am I right now? I don't know. I mean, I can tell you that I'm a mom and I homeschool and I'm a wife and that kind of thing. But who is Darlene? I know who I used to be, and I know that there are things about me, like deep down, that I just keep pushing aside because I always put other things. I always have all these other hats on, and I put them all before anything of me and anything that I want. And ladies, we need to stop doing this, and we need to. It's okay to be ourselves and be a mom, be ourselves and be a grandmom. We have interests, we have likes. That's what makes us unique, it makes us different and interesting and beautiful. And when we put all those aside because we think that we're supposed to be like this, we're supposed to be this kind of mom, we're supposed to be this kind of grandma, we're supposed to be this kind of homeschool mom or whatever, then we are losing track of ourselves. So who are you? What interests you? What do you like? What are your favorite things to do? I would challenge you to sit down and write down everything that you're interested in, everything that you love to do. And that can include your kids, that can include homeschool, that can include your job, whatever, because that is something that you do like to do. But I mean, things like pieces of music I like to listen to, and I like to, I like this football team, darn it, and I like to go, for me, it's I always say I'm a closet NASCAR fan. I don't really, because nobody else and my husband doesn't like it and whatever, but you know what? I like it, and I'm going to watch a race, okay? I don't care if you don't like it. Okay, I like it, and I want to do something that I like to do. It's part of me. I'm not going to ignore it, all right, because it has shaped me. It's something that I enjoy doing, it's something I enjoy watching. But I would encourage you to write just everything down that you like to do, and focus on that, and then share with me. Share with me in the comments. Share with me how you're feeling, some things that you've experienced, and what you're doing when you're writing down doing this challenge of writing down these things of what you love to do, and see what discover yourself again. Discover, pull yourself out of the attic or out of the basement, and let's and dust yourself off. Allow yourself allow life and the things that you've experienced to be the sandpaper to bring you back to bring you back to life, and to allow yourself to be loved and nurtured by other people. Sometimes we can push that away, ladies, and just come back. Allow yourself to be revived and regenerated, and discover who you are again. And celebrate that. And so tell me what you discover about yourself. Tell me what you're experiencing in the comments. I want to hear from you. I'm going to make this a safe place for us to be able to share. I will do my best to keep this a place of non-judging, non-assuming, non-criticizing, just being open and honest so that we can help ourselves, help each other be revived and renewed and ready to just, go out there and live the life that we should be living, not a life that somebody else thinks that we should be living. Okay? So you have a challenge, and I hope to hear from you. I also hope that you like and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to future conversations. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.